So you can listen to this practice wherever you find yourself today. You can be sitting down or laying down, or even stretching and doing things if that's what you got to do. And hopefully wherever you're at when you listen, this will still be helpful to you in some way. So if you'd like to listen in a still position, just feel free to take all the time you need to arrive there. And allow yourself to fidget, adjust, stretch, or move in whatever ways feel good in your body, in your bones, muscles, joints. And just doing your best to not think about the movements at all, but more letting your body move you in the ways that intuitively feel good. Following those yummy sensations you might get when you do some cat-cow motions with the spine, or some side body bends, torso twists, neck rolls, just anything at all that feels good in your body. Maybe even a nice morning stretch feels good, reaching the arms overhead. And just feeling that space between your hip bones and the bottom of your rib cage, feeling that space get a little bit longer so you give your organs lots of space to breathe already. And so again, there's no rush whatsoever. You can continue to move throughout this practice whenever you have the need to. But at any point, if you haven't already, can find your way to that still position, just feeling that the spine is nice and straight in whatever position you've chosen. And if you're in a space where you feel safe and would like to, you can allow the eyes to gently close at any time if they aren't already. And now mark your arrival into your practice today and into your body today with a full, intentional cleansing breath. As you welcome in a long and slow inhale in through the nose, and just let yourself fill up to every corner and edge of you as you just hold that for a moment once you're full, and just sit in this sense of fullness. And without straining as you need to, slowly let that go. Exhaling bit by bit as you just gently pull the navel toward the spine at the bottom of your exhale to really push that last bit of stagnant air out of you. As you again pause for a moment to now just sit in this sense of emptiness and allow your next breath to come as it's needed. And so you can breathe just like this for as many rounds as feels good and helpful to you. Not worrying about the length of your inhales, exhales, and pauses on either side, but just letting each of the 4 parts of your breath be exaggerated, whatever that means for you right now. So when the body naturally stops inhaling, seeing if you can open yourself up a tiny bit more to take in just a little bit more air and get just a tiny bit more full. And when you would naturally roll over to the exhale, seeing if you can hold off on that for one extra moment and stay in that fullness with more intention. And then as you exhale, even when you think you're empty, seeing if you can just push a little bit more air out of you and stay in that emptiness for an extra moment before letting your next breath come. And you can continue to breathe in this slowed and exaggerated way for as many rounds as feels good and helpful to you. But at any point, if you haven't already, you can release this guidance over your breath altogether. And feel yourself almost stepping back and up in the mind and into that role of the observer or the witness. Reminding yourself how our breath is our one bodily function that can be either voluntary or automatic. And so letting go of the voluntary guidance we just had over the breath, and now simply observing the automatic process that is your body breathing you. Knowing that your body does breathe and function perfectly even when you are in a deep sleep. And so just seeing if you can watch these processes within your own body without having any impact on them, which some days feels really straightforward and simple to do, and other days it feels nearly impossible. So it is perfectly okay wherever you are in your practice today. Just making a note of how you are starting this practice. Just for yourself, making note of how the body is feeling, how the mind is feeling. Maybe the mind is really loud and chattering quite a bit. Maybe trying to pull you back into the past, thinking about anything at all before this moment. Or maybe it's trying to pull you into the future and trying to multitask, plan things for your day or week ahead. And just know that the moment you notice the mind is wandering, that automatically puts you back into that role of the observer, which is where we try to stay for practices like this. Remind yourself that there is absolutely nothing you should be doing right now. This is not a doing or a thinking process, but one of listening and feeling. And so, even with the eyes closed, just let your awareness rest on your face and almost see any expression that is resting on the face. Making note of where there could be tension gathering in the face. Making note of any emotions that could be communicated by this resting expression on the face. And then choosing to allow these areas to soften a little bit more. So allowing your jaw to just hang into place. Maybe even opening and closing the mouth a few times to find that center zone for your jaw where it's just hanging, just relaxing as it would when you are sleeping. Letting the tongue release from the roof of the mouth. Letting the lips be soft and just rest on one another. And then feel how this softness within the mouth naturally allows your chin to soften a bit more, along with the nostrils. Letting that release naturally keep spreading outward and upward as the cheeks relax a bit further. The ears. The eyelids, and the eyebrows. Even feeling your eyeballs just resting in their sockets as you allow your gaze to be soft wherever it is you are looking, whether that be at the world outside of you or at the backs of the eyelids, or maybe peering up into the forehead, or maybe rolling back even further and peering into the skull. Wherever your sight is resting, just allowing it to almost glaze over so that you are seeing everything rather than one specific thing, even if it is just darkness, looking into that space. As you feel your hairline soften back a bit further, and allow your forehead to be wide and deep. As you even feel your brain resting in your skull. The whole scalp softening a bit more. As you just remember the safety that comes with your own anatomy. Remember that deep sense of trust that you have with your own anatomy. Trusting that even when you are in a deep sleep, everything in your body functions perfectly, just as it should, to keep you alive. Trusting that when you let go, when you release and soften your body, everything is held where it needs to be. And you do not need to hold yourself in any particular way. You do not need to make yourself smaller or bigger, heavier or lighter. But you can let yourself be exactly as you already are. Almost feeling a sense, or almost seeing a depiction of all of the muscles that exist within your face. Every tiny muscle that has made every expression you've ever made. All the muscles within the face. Seeing them almost ungrip from the bones and release back into the support of your skin. Remembering that your body holds everything right where it needs to be. And it is safe for you to let go. Feeling your shoulders become a little bit heavier as the space between the shoulders and the ears gets a little bit longer. And even feeling the tips of your shoulders almost reach in opposite directions so that you feel your collarbones broaden and your heart sit in this proud position between the upper arms. As you allow your chin to tuck just slightly down toward the heart, just so that you feel the full length of the back of your neck. And really clearing that path of energy or that channel between your own heart, up through the throat, into the skull, into the brain stem, and into the brain itself. And just clearing any kinks out of that path, connecting your heart to your head. fueling that connection between your heart and your head, simply by being aware that it's there. Allowing your arms to be just a little bit heavier, almost feeling the muscles of the arms just roll off of the bones. As your hands become heavier, and just allowing for any natural curving of the fingers. As you now trace that space between your heart and both hands, remembering the physical, anatomical connection between your heart and your hands. How your heart does pump blood through veins and vessels into your hands and fingertips. And just clearing this connection again simply by being aware of it. Remembering how your heart is directly connected to your hands. And your hands have the power to create and to heal through all of this love that is in your heart. Allowing all the muscles across your abdomen now to soften a bit further. Feeling them almost hug and rest on the organs. And with each gentle inhale your body takes, that hug gets a little bit tighter. As you allow your belly to be exactly as it is. Remembering that connection, the innate connection between your heart and your stomach as well. All the organs that exist in your belly are directly connected to your own heart as well. And so just allowing the love that is in your heart to fuel and feed into all of your organs. And trusting that any part of you that needs extra support will naturally attract that support from your own heart. Trusting that your body is healing. And helping along this healing process, again, just by being aware of it, by shining a light on it. Feeling your pelvic floor lengthen and widen into the surface that is beneath you. Letting go a bit further in the glutes. And feeling both legs completely soften. The muscles almost rolling off of the bones. And both feet and all toes softening even further as well. As you now remember the innate connection between your heart and your toes, your feet, and every inch in between. Your heart beats throughout your entire body. And so just being aware of the heartbeat that is in your feet, the heartbeat that is in your hands, and the heartbeat that is at the crown of your head, and every little space in between. Just allowing that pulse of your own life force to become a little bit stronger throughout every inch of your body, just by being aware. Feeling that heartbeat in the space between the sit bones, at the very root of your spine. As you remind yourself of the deep safety that we all possess in these bodies, in this life. And how at the end of all of our lives, our souls will return to wherever they came from, and our bodies will return to this earth. And there is absolutely nothing anyone can do to take that away. We are deeply safe in our own souls. And maybe there's a lot of layers of fear and doubt stacked on top of that core sense of safety. And so not ignoring those if they are there. Letting them be heard. Letting maybe some seeds be planted of future action steps, perhaps. And at the same time, knowing and trusting that there is a deep sense of safety beneath it all. And trusting that daily moves that you make that support your safety a little bit more will naturally, over time, get you to a place where you want to be. And remembering that there will always be a period of time between when we recognize we need to make a change and when we actually have the strength, the power, the resources to make those changes happen. And so just be so kind to yourself wherever you are throughout any process of change. And just trust that you are already on your way to where you want to be. And not forgetting how far you've already come. Reminding yourself of just how much love has been required just for you to be here right now. All the generations of your family and your ancestors that have loved and created more life, and how you are a product of all of that love and life. And you are just another part of the chain, because you will continue to pass on that love to those you interact with in life. Whether that be children or friends or animals or just the earth in general. The love that you pass on is a product of all the love that has been given to you already. And it is not possible for any of us to earn more love from the world around us, simply because we already have access to the source of all love through our own bodies, through our own hearts. We are directly connected to the source that all of life comes from, simply because we are alive. And so you do not need to do things for more love, but you can instead flip that into doing things from the love that we already have. And we'll see how that naturally allows it to multiply and grow and be seen in those we interact with. This is true for absolutely everyone in life. And it's part of being human that we will forget this innate connection we have to all the love and all the life. And that is okay. That is a part of being human, to forget our power. But we will also always remember our power. And in order to remember, we have to forget sometimes. And this is just a part of the waves of life that being a human is about. The human experience contains a lot of pain and suffering. And it also contains a lot of joy and love and connection. And sometimes the biggest source of our suffering can be all the expectations we put on ourselves to not be feeling pain or suffering, or to be feeling good and motivated and happy all of the time. We can make our lives so much heavier for ourselves by kind of being mean to ourselves when we're not feeling good. Saying things like, well, I should be grateful, I should be motivated, I should be happy, I should be anything else. It just adds that extra layer of resistance to how we are. And so we can use those should thoughts that pop up when we notice them almost as cues to backtrack and say, well, whatever I am feeling is what I should be feeling because I'm feeling it. And the only thing we know to be true is that everything changes, especially how we feel. And the only way we truly move on from feelings is through feeling them. Not by shoving them down deeper within us, where they will only become more embedded and echo louder, control us more insidiously. We can instead, when they arise, allow them to release in whatever way they want to be released, whether that be through tears, shaking, crying, punching a pillow, or even laughing, dancing, running around. Whatever way, whatever release the emotions are calling for. And sometimes we feel like we will be crushed from our feelings, or we will drown in our sorrows. But that will never be true. We are strong enough to feel our feelings. And you can remember all of the awful and difficult feelings you've already felt that have not crushed you, but they've in fact made you stronger and made you who you are today. And so you can just have so much kindness and patience for yourself as you move through this human experience that is your own, unique to you, but that has very common themes as those around you. And you are allowed to have the same patience and kindness for yourself as you have for anyone else in your life who you love. You do not need to be harsh to yourself. You do not need to be mean to yourself in order to get things done. But you can just trust that you will get things done. And the more present you are with yourself and with your life, the more active of a participant you will be in this world, rather than getting sucked up into our mental world, where we're almost like a detective through our own thoughts and emotions. An analogy I think about when it comes to this is the saying that every storm runs out of rain. And it's true, absolutely every storm will run out of rain. And I think of trying to hyperanalyze and really question why we are feeling the way we're feeling, and kind of being like a detective through our own thoughts. It's almost like the equivalent of we're standing in a storm and there's a rain cloud overhead, and the rain cloud is trying to pass over, but we're just staring up at it and running alongside it and questioning it. Why is it here? Why is it raining? And we don't realize that we're running along with the cloud that's moving and trying to pass over. And I think feeling the emotions is the equivalent of no longer questioning or chasing, but just having a seat, feeling the rain on our skin, letting it wash over, and before we know it, the cloud will have passed. And so you can just use the next few moments to have a seat, whether you are in a storm right now or basking in sunlight, or any mixture of the two. Let's take this moment to have a seat with yourself, exactly as you are right now, continuing to soften into who you are right now. And you can trust that it is possible for you to accept and love yourself fully for who you are right now. And at the same time, have goals and aspirations to be someone different or to be even more fully yourself. Accepting who you are right now, where you are in life right now, does not mean that you like it or agree with it or even want it to be this way. But accepting simply means that you acknowledge reality. You acknowledge what is, which is the first and necessary step in any real change. And so you're allowed to love and accept all versions of you, your past self for becoming who you are today, and your present self for becoming who you will be in the future. All versions of you make up the beautiful picture that is you. And there's nobody else out there who is exactly like you, who perceives the world the way you do, who feels things the way you do. And your perspective is unique and valuable. What you have to share is needed in this world. There can never be too many people sharing these universal truths. Because sometimes the way that you say something, the tone of voice you use, or how you write something or draw something, the way you create, whatever is on your heart to create, will click for someone else in a new way. And so just fueling that trust with yourself and your own creative voice. Knowing that there will be doubt. And we do not need to erase all doubt in order to act or make moves. But we can acknowledge that doubt and do it anyway. Create anyway. Whatever thing you feel an urge to create, you can trust your own instincts. And so just take a moment now to return your attention to your heart, if it's left. And you can really check in, tune back in, sync your awareness up with this unique rhythm that is the beating of your own heart. The steady background beat to every single moment of your life. The constant reminder of all the love and life you possess. And if it feels like something you'd like to do today, you can let your hands come and find each other in a prayer position toward heart center. You just feel this contact of your palms and fingers to one another. And let your heart lift toward your thumbs and your thumbs to press back toward your heart. And just trusting that anything at all that you heard today that resonated with you, just trusting that that feeling can sometimes come when we hear on the outside what a part of us already knows to be true on the inside. And so just allowing those truths to be enhanced within you so that you feel a little bit more confidence to act on your own intuition. Letting these truths be sealed within you to fuel your own confidence with yourself, so you never have to give that power away to anyone else. And so that you can reclaim that power at any time if you have given it away. But nobody will ever know you better than you are capable of knowing you. And so just take in a final deep and full breath into the body as you watch yourself fill up to every corner and edge of you. And as you exhale, letting go of anything you're ready to let go of, as you allow the head to gently bow. Taking this moment to bow to the source of energy that allows all of our hearts to beat, whatever you believe that to be. And bowing to everyone else in this space who has listened and completed this practice right alongside you. And finally, bowing to yourself for choosing to show up today and taking the time out of your busy life for this pure act of self-love and self-care. And may this act continue to heal you through the rest of your days and nights. And may you bring the same love and understanding to everything you do and to everyone that you see. Thank you. Thank you, guys. If you want to stay in this zone a little longer, you can feel free to float on out of here. So yeah, I'm going to read through these messages here. Melissa says, I love the imagery of running along with the storm clouds. It's so accurate. Yeah, I thought of that a few years ago. And the moment I thought of it, I was like, oh my God, that's it. Like, that's what it is. And because I always keep a sticky note on my wall. It says, every storm runs out of rain. And that is like, that was the seed for that thought. So I love that quote as well. And Mike says, to me, to love yourself is to treat me the same way I treat someone I love. It's not spa treatments and mani-pedis. It's patience and consideration. Absolutely. I totally agree with that. If you're a new Ruthie listener, you'll never forget the times you, oh, fun listening to her. And then to yourself, Mike, you're so sweet. You leave such wonderful comments. I screenshot them for my favorites folder when I'm doubting myself. But thank you so much. Yeah, I agree with that. Self-love. I talk a lot about self-love with my boyfriend now because he's never been someone to think about self-love or loving yourself. He's like, that's just not like a thing he's like thought about. And so I've been trying to like think of other ways to frame it because he does like love himself. You know, like you can only love someone as much as you love yourself type of thing. I think of that as like just knowing yourself, being in touch with yourself. Maybe that connects more with some people if loving yourself feels off for you. And that's another way you could think of it is just knowing yourself, knowing all the aspects of you, because, you know, when you meet yourself on a deep level, that is how deep you can meet other people. You know, you can only meet people as deeply as you've met yourself. So that's why certain relationships, maybe they feel more like shallow, and it's maybe because, you're not going as deep today, or maybe they're not going as deep today, like, I don't know. I just thought that was a different way to think about it, because I know I'm trying to think of like other ways to word things, because I know a lot of people use the same phrasing. And someone wrote a really good comment on, or it was kind of critical comment, but it was helpful for me to read, saying that everyone uses the word soften, and I have no idea what soften means. Like, how do I soften my head? I'll keep trying, but I'm like, that's a good point. Like, if you just think about like soften your head, you're like, what? So I thought about it as like maybe just thinking of something that is soft and imagining your head turning into that thing that's soft, because some people do better with imagery, but other people need more of like an anatomical thing, and that's what helps me the most. So that's why I teach it like that a lot, of like just imagining your skull, like what's actually here right now is the bones of your skull, your brain, all the mush in between, your skin, all the muscles, and just imagining those things physically softening or letting go or releasing or any of those things. So I always just say, like, we have different keys to the same doors. We all need a different combination of words and tone of voice in order to get something to click. So that's another reason I say, like, we can never have too many teachers. If you've ever thought about creating guided meditations, do it, because there's probably someone who will connect with what you have to say. And you probably have an urge to do it for a reason. So, and I had an urge to do this for years before I actually did it. So you can also be patient with yourself. But yeah, just throwing that out there. So thank you so much, Mike. And thank you, Carrie. And I love that Ruthie's glasses are the signal meditations completed. Yep. I always take them off for the thing, because I'm like, what's the point of having them on if my eyes are closed? And I'll get distracted, like if people are talking in the chat, and I want to like stay in the zone. Thank you so much, Jennifer. I'm glad you liked it. Good morning to you, Perry. Thank you for being here. It's not about how you view yourself, it's about how you treat yourself. Absolutely. Thank you, Perry. Thank you guys so much. Thank you just for listening and for being here. Even if you don't write in the chat, just thank you for your time. And I hope you heard something that was helpful. And if you did, I hope you share that with whoever you want to share that with. On my YouTube, I have mostly all of the live meditation recordings there. There's like hundreds at this point, and a bunch of yoga classes as well. And there's also a playlist called Ruthie Rambles, which is just what it sounds like. It's me rambling for hours and hours, talking about my opinions about things, and just a lot of like spiritual stuff through the years, things I've learned through having a chronic illness, and then a whole other playlist that's health history and updates, which is just what it sounds like, me sharing all my health history, which has been crazy. I've had a lot of different surgeries. I had ulcerative colitis, got my colon removed, lived with an ostomy bag for a while. Now I have a J pouch, and I've had additional surgeries since then. So I talk about all of that on my YouTube channel, because a lot of that is kind of what motivates me to share and do healing things, like meditations and such. So like maybe you found my meditations because of my digestion meditations. That was like the first thing I ever created, because I was looking for something for myself and I couldn't find it. So I made it. So yeah, those ones and the headache meditations is really like the seed for all of these things I create. So if any of that interests you, it is all out there. There are more videos coming. I've been trying to edit this next video that I'm trying to post. I will get it posted by the end of the week, I'm positive. And it's about pelvic floor physical therapy, which if you live with IBS, IBD, any poopy problems at all, or even if not, honestly, I think everyone should go to pelvic floor physical therapy. And this video, it's going to be like a 10-15 minute video, just like a PSA about people should go to physical therapy. And then I'll make a series sharing more about it. But I had IBD for 12 years before a doctor recommended it to me. And it's so insane that nobody recommended it sooner, because the muscles just gets like, there are so many muscles there that we're so unaware of. And it's just like any muscle. The more aware you are of them, the more you can curate them to listen to you and respond and act in the way you're telling them to act. So yeah, just throwing that out there. But there will be a video where I talk more about it up on my YouTube soon. So That's enough blabbing out of me. This was a very long one. Thank you for listening if you've been here. Have a great rest of your Monday. Have a great week. And I will be back here at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday. So I hope to see you there. Thanks, Melissa. I'm glad you like them. So yeah, thank you guys so much. Thanks for the hearts. And have a great week. And I hope to see you Friday. Okay, bye.